Hi! Hello, and welcome to Ashburg. One of my big goals for the year is to expand my reading horizons. Read more books, read a wider variety of books, explore different genres. I want to do all that. But not this week. This week, we are introducing a series to my channel that is going to be a year-long endeavor. This year, we're going to read all of the Harry Potter books beginning to end. The famous magical series written by Cher. Alexa, play Do You Believe in Life After Love? But I just wanted to read the Harry Potter series because it's such a comfort to me and for so many other people. And I miss a comfort read. I want to feel cozy and safe as I watch a child's life get destroyed by the adults around him. Each video will be one book. So this video, we're doing Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Not only are we going to be reading the books together, we're also going to be having in-depth discussions about different characters, different plot points, basically all the thoughts that you have while reading the series, but you have nobody to say it to. That's what I'm going to share in these videos and invite open discussion. So that being said, these videos are going to have a ton of spoilers. It's gonna be nothing but spoilers. I'm not planning on filling in a ton of background information. This is more to speak to you as somebody who's either seen the movies or read the books or has a basic foundation of Harry Potter knowledge. So if you have some type of knowledge in Harry Potter, you'll be just fine. If you don't, I would recommend reading the first book first and then coming here. But if you've never read Harry Potter and you have no intention, you're just like Ash, I'm never gonna do it, then I will post a little synopsis in the description box. So without further ado, I'm gonna send you back in time to Ashley, who's about to read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a wonderful day. So we've read chapters 1 through 3, and now we're on chapter 4, where we get introduced to Hagrid for the first time. So let's catch up. We started with The Boy Who Lived, and that chapter is always so special to me because I love it when you read the first chapter of a book and you just get that sense that you're about to embark on an incredible adventure. It's hard to describe. When I was reading The Boy Who Lived, I read this line. He couldn't know that at this very moment, people meeting in secret all over the country were holding up their glasses and saying in hushed voices, "To Harry Potter, the boy who lived." Oh. Reading that line, you just get the feeling, whoa, this is something special. The image of baby Harry just bundled up in a bunch of blankets, being left on somebody's doorstep, having no idea what he's just gone through and what the whole wizarding world has been going through for the past, I think, 11 or 12 years. It's just such a sweet moment. And I'm just thinking about baby Harry, rest up, sweetie, because you have no idea what they're gonna do to you. So before I start reading Hagrid's part, we have to talk about the damn Dursleys. I get that they hate magic, and I get that they don't like things that are weird or strange, but Harry's a child. He's a baby. Do you know how much hate you have to have in your heart to despise a baby just for being born? Going through all of the things that Harry endured as a child, he endured some serious child abuse. And I guess my main question is, did Dumbledore know the extent to which the Dursleys were treating Harry? I know that Dumbledore knew that Petunia and Lily's relationship was seriously strained and knew that Petunia hated magic. But did he know what they were doing to that little boy? I get that Dumbledore's ultimate idea in his head was I want Harry to grow up humble, and he was humbled, and I guess maybe wanting to see how he acts in adversity. But Dumbledore took a chance letting them do all this stuff to Harry. This is the stock that serial killers are made from. And I just think to myself, did he have to be left with these people? I know that he did. I don't remember the specifics, and we're gonna get to it when we get to that book. But all of this gets explained. However, I just can't help but feel that Harry would have been better off being raised by rats. But we're still very early in the book, so we're going to read some more. We're going to meet Hagrid for the first time. And I'm going to pop back in when I have more thoughts. Okay, so we've just finished the chapter Diagon Alley. We've met our sweet, sweet Hagrid. You know, to their credit, literally despite their best efforts, Hagrid got to Harry. I mean, you were never going to keep him away. Hagrid found them. He rescued Harry, told Harry all about where he comes from, what happened to his parents, and the existence of Voldemort. I did just want to say, like, don't get me wrong, I'm anti-Dursley all the way through. My mother is anti-Dursley. My mother's mother was anti-Dursley. I come from a long line of people who hate the Dursleys. I just want to say, though, rereading the section where Hagrid comes in and he tells Harry that, you know, he's a wizard, and Petunia kind of like has a little moment talking about how much she hates the fact that her sister was a wizard. And to be fair, I can kind of see why Petunia would have been so bitter about that fact. I mean, imagine coming from a family of regular people and then you find out that your sister, who I've never seen them, but based off descriptions, like Lily was beautiful and Petunia was named Petunia, your like beautiful sister, it turns out that she has magic powers, and on top of that she's going to go to a magical school and have all these crazy grand adventures and become the coolest person alive, and you're here named Petunia. Like, I can see where the bitterness from her comes from, and then she just happened from there to find a husband who was also into child abuse. So back to Diagon Alley. The thing that I think is so special about the Harry Potter series is the fact that it causes the reader to have such a strong desire to be in the book. Like, you want to be there with Harry, picking out robes, getting all your materials for magical school, like getting a wand. Like, these are all the things you wish you could be doing. You're almost like a little bit jealous of Harry because it's like that meme where it's like, I don't care if something good happened to you, I wanted it to happen to me instead. And I think that it's so easy to have a fantasy world that's this massive kind of seem a little cheesy or over the top or oversaturated. But there really is just like such a great balance of details that build the world around you, but just the right amount. I mean, the series had grown-ass people looking for a Hogwarts letter in the mail. That's special. Okay, that's unique. And of course, we have to finish off the conversation with talking about Draco Malfoy, who we've just met for the first time. We're gonna have so many conversations about Draco Malfoy down the line. I can already hear the voices talking about his little redemption arc and how complex of a character he is, and I believe you. But we can also acknowledge that it takes him a long time to get there. All I'm saying is, Harry should have given him like a little uppercut when he had the chance. If I spill on myself, you saw nothing. So we've gotten Harry all the way up to Hogwarts at this point. We entered through platform 9 3/4. We boarded the Hogwarts Express. First things first, we met the Weasley family. The Weasley family who becomes Harry's adoptive family essentially over the course of the series. There's so many of them, but they all have their own like unique personalities and a different element that they bring to the story, especially Fred and George, who I'm so excited to see all of their antics because they add so much humor and lightheartedness and depth to the background story outside of just like the main three, the golden trio, if you will. And this might change as we read through the series and I start to remember more details, but as of right now, I think my ranking for the Weasley family is number 1, Molly, obviously, Harry's surrogate mother, sweetest woman alive. We have Fred and George. They add some flavor. They're the onion and garlic powder of the Weasley family. In 3rd place, we have Ron. 4th place, Arthur. 5th place, I guess, Ginny. 6th place, Bill and Charlie, because they're largely absent from the books. And then in last place, forevermore, obviously, will be Percy. Percy with a P. And the P stands for please let me punch him in the gut. Harry got onto the Hogwarts Express. And again, like what I was saying about the little details of the story, like Harry having trading cards or any pictures in the wizarding world, how the images move, like they just go about their business and do other things because they can't be expected to just hang out all day. Like, Those are the little things that just add so much character to the world that I just love so much. Two other major character introductions that we've had at this point are Neville Longbottom and Hermione Granger. Imagine if your last name was honestly Longbottom. I mean, at that point, you have to do squats to fight the stereotype. The Golden Trio has just made it to Hogwarts. They're about to go through their sorting hat ceremony. And in the spirit of that, I did my own sorting hat quiz ceremony. So as we read through the series, we can see what house I belong in. Maybe I'm Slytherin, in which case go Voldemort. Team Avada Kedavra. So I made an account on the Harry Potter Wizarding World website, which I think back in the day used to be called Pottermore, but I tried Googling that and Google laughed at me. So it's actually the Wizarding World right now. But I made an account, and we're going to go through together and see which Hogwarts house I'm supposed to be sorted into. Get sorted now. Let's take this quiz. All right, so I guess they're just going to ask me, first of all, the graphics are beautiful. Dawn or dusk? I can't remember the last time that I've actually seen a dawn in real life, so let's do dusk. Late at night, walking alone down the street, you hear a peculiar cry that you believe to have a magical source. Do you draw your wand and stand your ground? Draw your wand, stand your ground. Bold move. Don't know if I would do that. Withdraw into the shadows to await developments while mentally reviewing the most appropriate defensive and offensive spells should trouble occur. So basically hide and overthink yourself into a coma, which is exactly what I would do. Draw your wand and try to discover the source of it. No, I do this thing called minding my business. Proceed with caution, keeping one hand on your concealed wand and an eye out for a disturbance. Ooh, okay. So I feel like withdrawn to the shadows to await developments. Like I feel like I'd be hiding, but also mentally preparing for a squabble. If you could have any power, which would you choose? The power to read minds, the power to change the past, the power of invisibility, the power to speak to animals, the power of superhuman strength, the power to change your appearance at will. Ooh, I feel like change your appearance at will. Which, I mean, also, to use that power, I'd absolutely be up to no good. I'm not saying I'm not going to commit crimes. Which of the following would you most hate people to call you? Ignorant, selfish, ordinary, cowardly. I feel like ordinary would hurt, but cowardly? I would feel that in my chest. Select. Which of the following do you find most difficult to deal with? Loneliness. Loneliness. Boredom. I'm never bored. Hunger. Ooh, hunger. That might be the one. My boyfriend knows all about this. Being ignored. No, please ignore me. Cold. Hunger. Like truly, if I'm not fed, I am not a good person. If you were attending Hogwarts, which pet would you choose to take with you? Listen, toad people. What's going on? And I'm allergic to cats, so we're gonna do owls. If you were attending Hogwarts, which pet would you choose to take with you? Oh, I have to pick an owl, okay. Barn owl, tawny owl, he looks adorable. Snowy owl, very stately. Screech owl, brown owl. I'm gonna go with the tawny owl. The tawny owl looks like it likes to come in for a little snuggle. I like that. What kind of instrument most pleases your ear? The piano, the drum, the violin, the trumpet. I was actually looking into taking violin lessons recently, but everybody says that it's absurdly difficult to do, and it like obviously requires hours of practice a day, which I can't even commit to this YouTube channel. So, but I think the violin is what I love the most. White or black? Oh, it's calculating. We have our decision. All right, ready? Clench your butt cheeks. The Sorting Hat has decided that I am in. It would help if I put the thing over the thing. Ravenclaw. Okay. Listen, as a booktuber, I'll take it. Part of the intellectuals? You probably know that some of Ravenclaw's most renowned members include Gilderoy Lockhart and Luna Lovegood. But did you know that Ravenclaw's Grey Lady's the intellectuals? But did you know that Ravenclaw's Grey Lady is the least talkative Hogwarts house ghost, or that Ravenclaw's common room boasts the most stunning views of the castle grounds? Wow, so being in Ravenclaw is about being left alone and having beautiful views. I'm home. Okay. I'm in Ravenclaw. Thanks for joining me during my sorting hat quiz. This website has a bunch of other quizzes, so I think as we progress through the series, I'll do some more of these. So we can progress now knowing that I'm a part of Ravenclaw. Let's get back to the story. So we've made a decent dent in the book since we last spoke. We went through the Potions Master chapter, we went through the Midnight Duel, Halloween, and Quidditch. So we've covered a lot of ground. We have a lot to talk about. In the chapter The Potions Master, we meet probably the most complex and hotly debated character in the series, and that is Severus Snape. Now, there are a lot of details about Snape's life that I don't quite remember. So as we read through the series and they come back to me, we'll discuss, but you should know that I don't like Snape. I am a certified Severus Snape hater. I carry a card in my wallet. I understand the role that he has to play. I understand the position that he was put in with Dumbledore. I understand the way he felt about Lily, and these are all things that we're going to discuss as they unfold throughout the series. But I mean, it's been a few years since I've read it, and I've gotten a little older. Maybe I've gotten a little more compassionate, but as of right now, there is nothing you could tell me to justify Snape's behavior throughout the books. His little redemption arc. It doesn't move me. If you had been a good person from the jump, wouldn't have been in this situation. So we met the Potions Master. We've also gone through the chapter where Harry, Ron, and Hermione get caught up in the girls' bathroom with the troll. At the end of that scene is where the Golden Trio finally forms. They agree to stop bullying my girl Hermione, who, bossy as she is the smartest one here. When Hermione joins the Golden Trio, the IQ of the group triples. And so it's nice to see when they all come together. One thing I don't understand though is when 3 of them get caught by the teachers. I don't know why Hermione doesn't just say, my feelings were hurt, I ran to the bathroom to cry, and the boys knew I was there, so they came to rescue me. I don't know why she makes it the lie that she was trying to take on the troll by herself. I was having a bad day and I needed a moment is more believable and less likely to invoke punishment than I thought me, who's 80 pounds, could take on a 600-pound troll. I think it makes more sense. Then again, Hermione's 11. I can't get into her mind. And then finally we get into the chapter Quidditch, where we learn all about the sport. And then of course, Harry's on the Quidditch team, so we have our first official Quidditch match. One of the things I love that I wish they included in the movies is Lee Jordan's commentary. It's so funny. I'm here cackling over the way that he's just narrating this game. Little snipes that he's making at Slytherin's team are hilarious. And I wish I'd seen more of that. Also, speaking of something that wasn't in the movies, but was in the books, is Peeves. What happened to Peeves? I would have loved to see him in the movies, because he's mentioned so frequently. But anyway, back to Quidditch. Harry has his first Quidditch match. An unseen force attempts to kill Harry, knock him right off the broom, which was interesting to read because I assumed that there were teachers present at the Quidditch match, and Madam Hooch is there. She's the ref. I don't see why nobody stepped in to save this flailing child from falling off his broom into his death. I just feel like if I was a teacher and I had access to incredible magic and I was so good at the magic so that I was hired at the greatest magic school in the world, I feel like I would just pull out my wand and do something. They just watched. They're Team Voldemort. I'm curious, if you played Quidditch, assuming that you're brave enough to play Quidditch, because it seems terrifying, but if you were brave enough to play Quidditch, what position would you play? I'd like to think that I would do Chaser. I can't be Seeker. I'm not gonna dive down at 80 miles per hour towards the hard, cold ground. That's just not in the cards for me in my journey. I'm not gonna be the goalie because that's too much pressure. Probably a Chaser. But if one of the bludgers, you know that thing that you have that flies around and tries to knock people off their brooms, that little black ball. If one of those hits me, it's over. So I just finished The Mirror of Erised, the chapter where Harry goes to visit the Mirror of Desire. And he sees his entire family in the mirror because his deepest desire is to have his family. And it just reminds me that in between you know, the fun of exploring Hogwarts and getting introduced to this magical world and reading about all the funny characters and everything, that at the core of it all, Harry is literally just an 11-year-old boy. Like, he's just a little boy who wants his family. Like, sometimes I feel like that gets lost in between the notoriety of being Harry Potter. And of course he has Ron and Hermione and his friends, but I can't imagine how lonely of a life he must have lived. Grew up in the worst household and then gets thrust into this magical world, which is exciting, but also comes with its fair share of challenges, such as being bullied by a 40-year-old man who was just really upset he never got to have sex with your mother. So it is just really sad to see him wanting to spend hours and hours in front of this mirror just for a glimpse of something that he could never have, but has always wanted. And I also love this chapter because it has one of Dumbledore's best lines in the book. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. And I understand that the emotional impact of that line has probably been a little lost due to the efforts of Pinterest and HomeGoods, but it's a very beautiful line. Okay, so for our last chapter of the night, we just finished Norbert the Norwegian Ridgeback, which is the name of the dragon that Hagrid genuinely seriously thought that he was going to keep. And just for reference, because I think it's important, Hagrid's hut, dragon, Hagrid's hut, dragon. He's just the sweetest man. He's just the sweetest man with the biggest dreams. But tomorrow we're going to get started with the Forbidden Forest. We're going to meet the centaurs for the first time, which again aren't included in the movies, I don't believe. No, they are included, I think, in Order of the Phoenix, but I think a lot of their storyline gets cut for some reason. Well, not for some reason. With all the material in the books, the movies would have had to been like 5 hours long, which is totally fine with me. But something about this being for kids, I don't know. But we are leaving off with Harry and Hermione taking Norbert to give to Ron's brother Charlie because Hagrid, of course, cannot keep a dragon. Fortunately, in the process, they are caught and they're in big trouble themselves. And of course, all of this is only because Malfoy can't mind his own business. He's allergic to it. All right, let's go into the Forbidden Forest. Oh my god, I forgot about the centaurs. I forgot that in the Forbidden Forest, there's like a whole horde of centaurs. Not that they're helpful. Like poor Hagrid trying to get a simple answer out of them. Did you see anything? And the helpfulness of their answer basically equates to, well, did you see anything? I still like them though. I think they're so kooky, and it's nice to get another glimpse of a magical race outside of wizards. And while it is frustrating that they won't just help, at the end of the day, they're right in that this isn't their problem. Like, this is a wizard issue, and they're centaurs. They said, y'all gotta figure out your own life. Through the trapdoor. I also forgot that the book basically goes to hell because of Hagrid. I will never say a bad word against Hagrid, except for the following. Like, I know that his heart is always in the right place, but Hagrid. I'm sure Dumbledore said, Hagrid, and I'm sure he said it very carefully. Hagrid, I'm putting the Sorcerer's Stone that I made with Nicholas Flamel in the vault. But like, don't tell anybody. And what does Hagrid do? Immediately tell everyone. He has been bribed, outsmarted, bamboozled, and it's so innocent. But Hagrid, I'm beginning to think that maybe this was like a little bit too much responsibility for you. Because Harry, Ron, and Hermione are, and I can't stress this enough, 11 years old, and you immediately folded. But we have reached the point in the story where the Golden Trio has decided that they're gonna go after the Sorcerer's Stone. Is it the best plan? No. Because at this stage, they believe that Snape is the person who's after the stone, a professional wizard at the best wizarding school in the world and who's absolutely killed bitches before, and they're gonna take him on. I respect the bravery. I don't know if I'm that brave, but that's why I'm in Ravenclaw. You're gonna hear me say this so many times throughout the series, but really, thank God for Hermione. She is the only reason that this whole series isn't just one book. The depth of her knowledge and logic is so essential to the team. And do you guys remember how earlier everyone was always so mad that she had her nose in her books and always doing homework and always raising her hand? See why you should mind your business? Wait, these were supposed to be the enchantments that were gonna keep out like a full-grown wizard? That were supposed to keep out like Voldemort? Because 3 first-year students got through it. If I was a teacher, I'd be humiliated. The part of Quirrell unwrapping his turban and there's a whole head on the back of his own head. I can't believe they put that in a children's book. If I read this when I was 10 years old, I would be so scared. Like, I'm a little scared now. One of the first things Voldemort does is taunt Harry over his dead parents. Like, I know Voldemort's obviously incredibly evil, but do you know how evil you have to be to taunt a child over his deceased parents that you killed? But Voldemort truly is one of the scariest villains that I've ever read about. Like, there are just so many little moments of cruelty. Even before you get full force Voldemort, you're already scared of him. The fact that they won't even say his name. Do you know how scared of somebody you have to be to not even say their name? The intensity of the terror that people still experience, even though this man has not been around for the past 11 years. For example, the line, I think a couple pages back, when Quirrell's talking about his experience with Voldemort, and he says, "Since then, I've served him faithfully. Although I've let him down many times, he has had to be very hard on me." Quirrell shivered suddenly. He does not forgive mistakes easily. Makes you scared, but then also just excited to see like what Voldemort's really like beyond just the little tastes of him you get throughout the book. It makes you think. It makes you like, oh, stop this man. Oh, I have like 20 pages left. Okay, cool. Let's finish this up. I'm at the part where Harry's just defeated Professor Quirrell and Voldemort for now. Harry's in the hospital wing and Dumbledore is by his side now debriefing him. And Dumbledore goes, "I feared I might be too late." And Harry goes, "You nearly were. I couldn't have kept him off the stone much longer." And Dumbledore interrupts him. And he's like, "Not the stone, boy, you." That line is so funny to me. Because Dumbledore's like, "What? Not the stone? Have some self-esteem, Harry." This one scene between Harry and Dumbledore is also incredibly beautiful, where they're actually talking about the night that Harry's parents were killed. And Dumbledore's explaining to Harry that the reason that Harry was spared is because of his mother's love, that she died protecting him. And if you'll indulge me, I do want to read this paragraph because I do think it is such a sweet moment. "Your mother died to save you. If there's one thing Voldemort cannot understand, it is love. He didn't realize that love, as powerful as your mother's for you, leaves its own mark. Not a scar, no visible sign. To have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved us is gone, will give us some protection forever." And then it follows up the paragraph with, "Dumbledore now became very interested in a bird out on the windowsill, which gave Harry time to dry his eyes on the sheet." It just really touched my heart. Because within all the action, at the end of the day, Harry really is just a little boy who lost his parents and who misses them very, very deeply. So, last page. And that's it. We have finished Harry Potter. 1 book down. I believe 6 more to go, but thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this time. I'm now officially coming out with videos every Friday, but thank you for visiting Ashburg, and we hope to see you soon. Bye!